My love before I found Christ was anger and controlling. God's love is the only thing that was able to break me of all that anger and controlling. My mother and father got divorced when I was roughly around 3-4 years old, and from there I didn't have no real father figures in my life. I had all kinds of, I guess, troubles. I went to school, and it was a religious school, and I have memories of some of the leaders in that church had abused me sexually for roughly 7 years. And every time I tried to explain to my family what was going on at the time, nobody would listen to me. So every time I tried to say something, I would get punished. And if I didn't go to the church or school, but I would ditch school, I would get punished, and they didn't understand why I wasn't going to school or why I would skip. And it was just, rough, because I didn't know what was going on. I was young. The sexual things that happened to me, I didn't know what they were. I had no choice in the matter. I just thought this was part of it. And then as I got older, when the sexual predator was taking advantage of me, I always felt that, why, if this is God, why do I want this? When I finally got out of all the situations that I was in, I graduated high school, I went into service. And when I was in the service, they asked me, what did you want to do? And I said, I want to become the meanest man possible, because all those things that had happened to me when I was younger were fresh in my mind. I always felt that nobody should ever be able to lay hands on me again. And I made sure that happened. And then when I got out of the service, I started hanging out with a crowd of bikers I used to hang with. And I used to just run with them, and it was fun. I used to love beating people up, so that was my pastime. And so they would hire me out to go do their dirty work. And I basically controlled people. When I would walk in a room, people knew who I was, and they knew how mean I was. And just to walk in a room, people had fear, because they knew that I could stab you, I'd shoot you, I'd take you out back, beat you with a baseball bat, wouldn't even hesitate. I was dating this girl, and her mother used to come around a lot and tell me that Christ told her to take me to church, and I used to laugh because I was still dealing drugs. But one day she came in and says, time to go to church. So I put on all my Harley garb. I said, I'm going to put everything on my own Harley just to see who I can intimidate or control when I get there. Everybody in there was scared, because first of all, I dealt with a lot of them on the street, the prostitutes, the drug addicts. And when I walked in there, they couldn't believe that I was walking in their church, because they thought I was coming in to get somebody. But once I got in there, sat down, and it just became so overwhelming. It just brings, it was cool. I gotta take a minute. It was like God was trying to show me something, but my eyes weren't all the way open. So I would just go every week, and I just loved it. And there was nobody that actually mentored me there. And that's the part that I always wondered, where am I going to go? And I knew I had to leave, because I got away from selling drugs. I gave up that life. I literally walked away from it. And I kind of just left Chicago, came to Grand Rapids. Didn't tell anybody, because I didn't want nobody to know where I'm at. When I first got here, it wasn't an easy journey, because I still wasn't being mentored, and I still kept doing some of the old stuff. So as time went on, of course, I got in trouble. I got disorderly conduct. And so while I was in jail, I told the Lord, I said, Lord, help me, please help me. I want to just do right. And so I got out. And then from there, they sent me to Gold Avenue Church. And that's when I met my pastor today. His name's Pastor Dave Westra. There was times when I was at church that, I'd be drinking for that week or whatever, and then Pastor Dave would notice I wasn't there. And then Pastor Dave would leave the pulpit and go get me. They all loved on me. They just scoffed me up, hugged me. It was so cool that I don't know how to explain it, because this was all a new experience for me. As our love altogether grew, we grew greater as a family in the church. The love there was just so overwhelming that I knew I'm in the right place. I'm thinking of the past and how the Lord has shown me mercy through the grace that He had given me, that I want to show everybody else that's out there, that through His mercy and His grace that we are all forgiven and not judged for anything. Even our past is not judged anymore once you're new in Christ. And that's what I want everybody to see.